Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It Needs to Be Heard with Mr. Robert Eugene Young with my co-host, Miss.
Onika Tyrrell, now
Now,
that you heard it.
what will you do? As you can see, Miss Onika Tyrrell is in New York, but we thank you for joining us today on March the 17th, 2019. And the name of the show today is called A Leap of Faith with the DC Retro Jumpers. And later on, we're going to introduce you to them and to her and on the organization so that we can use this show today to show how awesome and magnificent the DC Retro Jumpers are, what they have done, what they will do, and moving forward in the future. As you would know, you can always call in at 240-455-5934. That's 240-455-5934. And we would like to just do a quick reflections on last week. Our guest was Your DC, which is a DC planning and business development organization where it helps businesses reconnect with the community. Our guest was Mr. Alberto Soto and Ms. Courtney Simone, who they're newly engaged, right?
Yes.
They're newly engaged. Awesome, awesome. And they can be reached at 202-494-5474 and also on their website at www.yourdc. That's yourdc.org. And also what was really amazing about them, outside of them reconnecting businesses with the community and business company development, Mr. Soto has a mentoring program called Only Kings, which helping young men to reconnect with themselves, understanding themselves, and being productive in the community. And also, his fiancee, Ms. Courtney Simone, has a traveling company called Adventures in Black, which is geared towards African Americans traveling the world. And she can also be contacted at Courtney, that's COURTNEY, at yourdc.org. They were a fantastic couple. They really had a very unique niche about connecting the community back to businesses. For we know that businesses, we are their consumers, but they are to reinvest back into our communities like many businesses have been in the past. Ms. Tyrrell, did you have any comments about our guest from last week?
Definitely, yes. They were very inspirational because not only did they just have an event planning, they used it as a community liaison for for their community, and it created a very social network for businesses and the community to thrive and to connect. And I thought that was amazing what they did. When they showed the example of how your business can influence and affect the community by saying if you had a hairdressing, a salon, a hair salon, not only can you go to the local school in that community, but you can train the young people to not only do hair, but you can also train them in order to be entrepreneurs as well, to give them other options with their talents and gifts. So that was very, very inspirational and encouraging. Also with the other business of the Black People Travel, with Ms. Courtney Simone, she is giving people an opportunity to see places outside their normal sphere of life, and it's one of those encouraging things to know that you too can explore the world no matter where you are, what your background is, and where you come from. So I really enjoyed that as well.
Awesome and amazing. I'm still psyched about working with them moving forward, even with them as far as brand development. They were really amazing. Also, as always, we'd like to thank Dr. Baruch and eLife Media Studios with this opportunity. If you're interested in having your own show here at some point or another, feel free to call eLife Media Group at two numbers. The first number is 301-324-6900. That's 301-324-6900. Or you can contact Chris Murray at 301-549-8216. That's 301-549-8216. And just quickly to our announcements so we can get right to the DC Retro Jumpers. The Peacock House is a network of commercial and meeting space for entrepreneurs to operate and sell their products for either for 1 day, short term, or long term. For information, please contact Dr. Chichi at 240-413-9481. That number again is 240-413-9481. They also provide business coaching, entrepreneur sessions, pitch meetings for adults and for children. But we know that not just adults have inventions or innovations, children do too. So, having said that, that's also where I hold my Zumba class as well on Mondays at 7:30 at 5608 St. Barnabas Road, Oxon Hill, Maryland, 20745. That's 5608 St. Barnabas Road, Oxon Hill, Maryland, 20745. And secondly, as you know, we have many endeavors here at It Needs to Be Heard, because we know that there are many businesses and many individuals that really need an additional platform to be able to be marketed internationally. And as you know, we've had guests not just from America, but also from South America. So we plan to be very abroad. And for those who would like to support It Needs to Be Heard and send monetary expressions of affection, you can send them to GoFundMe.com/It Needs to Be Heard, or with PayPal with our email address, It Needs to Be Heard with an S @gmail.com, and also with Cash App. That's with the $, It Needs to Be Heard. And Nikki and I are also seeing, we are very excited to be here for our second season. We're already looking forward to our third season. And having said all those wonderful things, we have wonderful guests here, DC Retro Jumpers with Miss Robin Ebb and Miss Anaya Ray. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, absolutely. Especially when you was like, when are you going to put me on your show? I was like, yeah, keep it. Not that I forgot, but thank you for reminding me. Miss Robin is a phenomenal young lady. I met her at Capitol View Library back in 2017, and we reconnected last year. And I'm just excited about the thing that she's doing with the unique niche that she's doing with Double Dutch. But I'm not going to talk too much. We want to give the rest of this show to her, and Onika is going to read her bio.
Awesome. So we have Miss Robin Ebb. She's an acrobat, Double Dutch coach, and entertainment athlete. She began as a principal performer for the Flying Nesbits, which is an acrobatic troupe specializing as a Risley act. Risley acts are acrobatics as an edge-of-your-seat performance featuring acrobatic flips into the air, somersaults, and foot juggling. As a member of the Flying Nesbits, Robin performed at the Universal Circus as a local talent, and were the first place winners of the Marion Barry Tri-State Contest. The Flying Nesbits have appeared on NBC4, Stuff for local children's television show, and performed at Atlantic City Club Harlem. They co-starred in Atlantic City's Harlem with Gladys Knight and the Pips, the Spinners, and Billy Eckstine.
Right.
Since 2005, Robin has been a member of the DC Retro Jumpers, then advanced to the group's director in 2016. Now, DC Retro Jumpers is an adult Double Dutch exhibition group. Robin teaches Double Dutch at an after-school program via Polite Piggies Day Camp at Maury John Tyler and School within the school on Capitol Hill, and at the Excel Academy, and has toured with the DC Public Library and Prince George's Memorial Library System. Among the places they have been showcased, NBC Health and Fitness Expo, WUSA TV9 News, the Washington Post, and so many others. In August 2015, the Jumpers received 900,000 views on Facebook, highlighting a Prince George's County police officer jumping Double Dutch. We are so excited and elated to have you here, Ms. Ebb.
Thank you, Ms. Tyrrell.
So, Ms. Ebbs, we thank you for being here. How you doing today?
I'm doing fabulous.
Fabulous. And who's this wonderful young lady that you have with you today?
This is my 9-year-old rambunctious
Rambunctious.
daughter, Naya Ray.
Naya Ray. Thank you for joining us, Naya. How you doing?
Good.
You doing good? We're going to jump right into it because I really want to, as you know, we have a special setup today, and we really want to elaborate. We really want to focus on you and let people know what you are going, what your upcoming events to get started. And you did send me that information. I'm going to bring it up. And as I go through them, you can just let us know. But let us know, for starters, how can you be contacted?
We, as DC Retro Jumpers, can be contacted at our email address at doubledutch, one word, 4fun@gmail.com.
All right. Any phone numbers?
No phone number.
No phone numbers. Awesome. Got it. All right. I'll just go through the list. I know you have something coming up on the 21st of March at Project Create.
Yeah, Project Create is a wonderful art space over in the Anacostia area.
Okay.
They do a lot of wonderful creative things that, with all types of crafts. They have invited DC Retro Jumpers and our family members to come and get prepared for the River Fest.
Okay.
Anacostia River Fest, which is April the 14th.
April the 14th.
So this is like a prelude to that because we're going to open up the park. We're going to have banners and flyers and stuff. So they want to kind of collaborate and do the crafting for the event.
Got it. All right. We have another one. The next one is at Mount Pleasant, and that's on the 21st from 5 to 6:30. Then you have Mount Pleasant Library on June the 27th at 4:30.
Correct.
And that's the library. And where's that located?
That's up off of 16th Street.
Okay, Northwest DC?
Northwest DC, correct.
Got it. Then we have West End Library for August the 30th at 4 p.m. And that's also in Northwest DC?
That is in Northwest, correct.
Northwest DC, awesome. All right, then we have Parklands Turner Library on July the 9th at 1 p.m. And that's also on the northwest side?
That's on the southeast side, over by Mississippi Avenue.
Got it. All right, and right after that, all right, is that Rafa T. Daniels Shaw Library? So that's off of Rhode Island Avenue?
That's northwest.
Northwest,
yes.
Got it. So that's July the 15th at 5 p.m. Then we have Capitol View Library. All right, July the 20th at 3 p.m. at 5001 Central Avenue, Southeast Washington, D.C., zip code 20019. And why it's on my mind, the library is going to be reopening, this grand opening for the external renovations this coming Saturday at 11 a.m. Mayor Bowser will be there, and also Councilman Gray will be there. And also they will be doing a resolution for my late girlfriend, Rashonda Jenkins, who passed away from cancer last year, but all of the contributions that she gave to the community, not just in health, but also with the renovations of the library, and also for overall empowerment for women in Ward 7. So that's this Saturday at 11 a.m. at the Capitol View Library, where we met. And that's a story within itself.
DC Retro Jumpers will be there as well.
Oh, you will?
We will, yes.
She hit hard. All right, now we have two more for right now. We have Woodbridge Library at July the 21st at 3 p.m. and that's off of Rhode Island Avenue and 20th Street, right? Northeast.
Correct.
Yep. And then we finally have here at the Southwest. I actually grew up over there. And then you have the Southwest Library on June the 24th at 1 p.m. and that's another location we used to give Zumba classes as well. And I believe, have they done the renovations yet there?
Not as of yet.
They haven't started yet.
No.
So I was surprised to see that. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, please support DC Retro Jumpers. And as she mentioned before, they can be contacted at double-4fun@gmail.com. All right, awesome. So today, in our conversations in the recent days, 2 days ago, you was giving us some history about the DC Retro Jumpers, how you got started.
Wow, we started in 2004. As a matter of fact, our founder, Joy Jones, a wonderful, wonderful woman, phenomenal. She is a playwright, and she started out as a play. So then she gave me a phone call, and she said, "Robin, you want to jump some double dutch?" And I'm like, "Who's jumping double dutch anymore?" So she said, "Well, I got a couple of girls. You want to play?" And so I went on and did that. And before we knew it, we was on TV, we was in the newspaper. So then we started getting requests in schools. And none of the girls wanted to take that on, except for Robin.
Yeah. And who might that be? Yes,
myself.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I just found a little niche how to get my kids in this rope. And once I get them in their rope and they do their own thing, oh my gosh, it's just like the light bulb turns on. And I mean, it just, their creativity is just amazing.
Awesome. And this niche that you're speaking of, can you describe it for us?
Well, not everybody knows how to get into the rope. I think some people forgot, they just know how to jump. But I've technically found a technique that'll get everybody, anyone who can do a bunny hop. I call it a bunny hop. That's my technique.
Yes.
But I mean, I give them a location to jump to, and once they do their bunny hop and get to that space, and I tell them to keep on jumping, I mean, the creativity goes to the roof.
Yes.
I have my boys doing the new dance called the shoot, and oh my gosh, that turns everything out. I mean, everybody just gets excited once you see the kids do that.
The dance to shoot? Do we have any demonstrations? How does the shoot go?
Nah, can you show us how to do the shoot?
In your chair. You don't got to get up.
Come on now, shoot. Come on, shoot. Ready, set, go. Shoot.
Ah, a little swag there. Yes. Now, this technique is a true story. This is not a myth nor a fable, because I have never personally ever had the ability to jump into a rope. It actually looks quite frightening. It's like almost physically impossible to jump into it without getting smacked in the face by the jump rope. And hopefully, as the pictures that we're showing up, that you can see how some of the people in the background are petrified. But yes, this concept, the bunny hop that she has coined, is hers. It does work, even for a young man like myself. You know, I've only been on the earth for a little while. I'm 18, you know. But, you know, this concept does work. And I'm so excited to have you here today. So give us a little bit more history about how you, with the DC Retro Jumpers, you did mention that you was in a newspaper, and how you was in a newspaper about Black Girl Magic and how that took you to other events.
I just continue to love my circles. I did a block party and did not know that the gentleman who participated was a Washington Post reporter.
Wow.
And he put us in the paper, and oh my gosh, the embassy here saw us, and I couldn't believe that the lady said that we were going to Russia. I mean, you know, all the scares and frights, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Within a year, we was in Russia the following year from the newspaper article.
Wow.
So that in itself was just magnificent, because who gets to go to Russia to do double dutch?
Yes, exactly. And that's amazing. That's why we have you on our show today, because we want to continue to give you exposure so that someone else can see you and take this to the next level for you. Even outside of double dutch, we just talk about business and ideas. And she's a magnificent woman. She's a business thinker, but she also loves the community. She also loves her kids, and she also loves the kids. She loves her daughter, of course, and her family. But she's really for the community. So anyone out there that feel inspired or feel moved to assist and to take this to the next level, feel free to contact the DC Retro Jumpers at Double Dutch 4 Fun. That's Double Dutch, the number 4 fun at gmail.com. Also, I know we talked about quite a few things, but Double Dutch, you were also doing some things before Double Dutch, like in acrobats and things of that nature. Can you expound on that?
My dad had a group called the Flying Nesbits. His name is Russell Nesbit. And from a kid, I mean, I can remember seeing us doing, I don't know if a lot of people know what a back bend is. I can remember standing on top of a person who had done the back bend and fell between her and hit my chin. So that tells me that I must have been small, because anybody do a back bend, they're low, they're kind of low. But
yes,
the experience, just to say that I've touched, been in the same places with Gladys Knight and the Pips. I remember her practicing.
Oh, wow.
She can hit any song and I'll know it's her, just because, you know, hearing her practice, and Billy Eckstine, and they may be old timers, but it taught me a lot of old school habits, and I just can't even think of all the lessons, life lessons I've learned just from watching, you know, the older seasoned folks do the things that they did in reference to, you know, business, community. Yes. My dad always giving to the community. Yes. So just to have that foundation is propelling me to do what I'm doing now. Yes,
it's in you. And that's what's wonderful about Robin. I mean, it's really, this is not just today, this is every day, all day. You should see her binder, her black binder that she has. She's very professional, a people person for sure. I've seen her in action working with kids. I think when we was at the capoeira place early back in January, the martial arts, and how she was able to communicate with all ages and all nationalities. She just blended in and she was getting it done. She was sweating and everything. and still getting this done. But we're just glad to have her here today. Also, in our talk, we talked about your father in a couple of pictures with him with the late Marion Berry. Can you expound on that?
Wow. It seemed when I was with my dad, everywhere we went, Marion Berry was there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every circle that we were a part of, he was there. And I knew that him and my dad knew each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so after he wrote his book, I was trying really hard to try and get his thoughts. I'm doing a documentary on my dad and the Flying Nesbits, and I just wanted him to be a part of that because he knows a lot about my dad, his story as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to get it, but I ran out of time.
Yeah, the late Marion Berry.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Absolutely. And I'm not sure if the picture has come up, but the pictures will be coming up as we see. Do you see any pictures as we speak right now?
No, just us two and you.
Talking right now? All right, cool. So as you see them pop up, you can just glance down. You can expound on the picture that's being shown. There was some modifications in our production, and but we want to make sure that we get you the exposure and the information out there to those individuals that want to assist the DC Retro Jumpers. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, you can call in at 240-455-5934. Ms. Onika Tyrrell, we have some questions for our guests.
Yes, we do. So I just want to ask you, Miss Ebb, how did you truly develop that love for acrobatics?
I can't even say that it was something that I guess I developed it over time. It's so unique that I can't even really. The closest thing to it I can think of is ballet dancing, and just the freeness that it gives you, and that's the only thing that I can compare it to. But I did it so often, it was almost like just putting my clothes on. So every day of my life I did it, and it seemed that whatever he needed as far as instructions, as far as showing people a particular stunt, he would always pull me out, which it made me feel funny because, other people think, oh, he's showing favoritism. And it wasn't so much of showing favoritism. He knew that he can get what he wanted from me to show the proper way of doing a particular stunt because you can get injured.
Yes.
So, and at first I was glad to do it, but then, you see the faces and the looks and stuff, and you like, find somebody else. And he's like, no, I want you to show them. So, but just in the instructions that he gave and me able to interpret them and to do exactly what it was that he was looking forward, looking forward to us to do, and I did it, and it made him so proud. So even that in itself made me want to do it even more.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right now, just real quick. Right now, there's a picture showing. Can you expound on that picture briefly?
Yeah, those were some kids. I mean, they were excited, and when I say excited, that's putting it mildly. That because a lot of people there, they jump single rope, but they've never really experienced double dutch, and that was a whole different experience for them. And for them to jump together was like, oh my gosh, they were so in heaven. So those were some young kids who actually was so excited, and then they came back and thanked me on their own. Their parents didn't even.
Wow.
And so I was even more appreciative and honored that I was able to share something that they enjoyed in their country.
And who were some of the people that went with you on this trip?
Joy Jones, our founder, went. My sister Carlisle Prince and Myra Martin, who has been with DC Retro Jumper since the inception.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Next question.
Sure. Can you explain or give an example how acrobatics can be a form of physical fitness for those who just think of just jumping around or flipping around?
No, this is way more than just flipping around. This is having to do with building pyramids, which is a mental concept in itself that you're protecting other people. Certain stunts had you to do different movements that you wouldn't do. It's not calisthenic movements. They're more gymnastic movements.
Okay.
But it's just different. I mean, it's a mixture of different types of form of art. I mean, you got your ballet in there, you got the gymnastics. So, and the Risley is the thing where he throws us and we flip over. So those different concepts were just something that I took to and just ate it up. I mean, it was something that I truly enjoyed, and I'm not sure, I can't figure out what it is about it that made me just do well in it.
Awesome. Ms. Tyrrell?
Okay, that sounds good, and that's the thing that people need to hear, that acrobatics is a form of physical fitness. When we think of acrobatics, we're not thinking of calisthenics. We're not thinking about ballet, any combination of that. So thank you so much for that. So I wanted to touch a little bit about double dutch. Now, this is something that I never learned how to do.
What?
So you might see me at your class, one of these, oh yes, you may see me in one of your classes with little kids learning how to do this thing and learning that bunny hop. So why double dutch, or tell them why not double dutch as an exhibition?
Why not double dutch? I mean, what I enjoy from it is that it came back. I mean, it's something that everybody loved. Yep. Everybody now, to me, can do if you just get in my class.
Yes.
It's just a physical and a nostalgic. Oh my gosh! I can give you 1,000 testimonies about people talking about double dutch as a kid. So just that in itself is something that I'm glad I was able to get my niche in and just be able to share with everybody. The physicalness of it, the excitement of it. Like I said, the nostalgia. Young and old, because some folks, you know, the kids don't even know really what it is. They might have seen it a couple of times, but when they actually physically do it, it's a whole nother world to them, a whole nother, I would say another skill that they've obtained.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So would you say that it's definitely another form of physical fitness as well?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. Awesome. So what is the greatest part in being an entertainment athlete? You mentioned about, in your bio, you spoke about the acrobatic troops that your father was a part of. So what's the greatest part about being an entertainment athlete, would you say?
I would say inspiring others. Somehow I look at it as something that I do on a regular basis, but I'm always finding kids coming back to me, just telling me their little story about how I inspired them, and that in itself, to me, keeps me doing what I do. And even the adults who tell me their stories, and they say, keep doing what you're doing, and I'm like, when I experience a lot of the excitement and the things that the children learn, and for them to come back and express some of that to me, I mean, I know I'm in the right place doing the right thing.
Absolutely.
Wonderful, wonderful. So what advice would you give to a young person who is interested in becoming an entertainment athlete?
I would say the first thing is to love what you do, because that's not a job. It's something that you, if it's something that you love to do, it is so much easier. It's so much easier to deal with the people and all the other little things that go around it. But if you love what you're doing, then it won't be a task. It won't be something, you know, that you hate to do.
There's a picture being displayed at the current time. Can you tell us who these individuals on this picture?
Myra Martin is, start from the right to the left. Myra Martin, Carlisle Prince, Robin Ebb, and Joy Jones. We were at the Kremlin, at the Red Square in Russia.
Wow, awesome.
We had a lot of audience watching us too. I think they weren't prepared to see a group of African American women at one time. Yeah. And then to see us as a group, they were really asking questions as to what are we doing.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that was intriguing. So then we can show off our stuff. We actually jumped.
Mm-hmm.
And I also took Miss Tyrrell. I do the gymnastics. So me and my sister, who also is a gymnast, and Joy Jones, as a matter of fact, we did a stunt called the knee stand. And we just had to do that stunt because that was like a tribute to my dad.
Awesome, awesome.
Okay. Taking it back a little bit to acrobatics, Miss Ed, do you have to be a gymnast to be an acrobatic or be in acrobatics?
My dad had the craziest knack of getting the person who was the most clumsiest. I mean, you would think that you were the most clumsiest person, but my dad would motivate you and into doing things that you would least expect yourself able to do. And I've seen it with my own eyes. So you don't have to be coordinated to do a lot of things. It's just a matter of just focusing and being determined to get it done.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So can you please share us with about the Black Girl Magic article that was in the Washington Post? It's a project that was in the background of the photo?
Yes. Good.
Well, when the church, the Open Door Baptist Church, which is off of Old Central Avenue in Washington, D.C., on the D.C. side, had invited me to come and share Double Dutch, which they really wanted Double Dutch in their outreach program because it was, like I said, a nostalgic activity. And oh my goodness, when I brought those ropes out, even the director, I can't think of her, Miss Ledbetter, she was like, oh my gosh, I haven't jumped Double Dutch in forever. And so it bonds the community. Oh my gosh, it really does. And I mean, for kids to be able to jump with their friends, it puts a whole new spin on just communication and teamwork and just the camaraderie of the community. I mean, when that little girl who jumped with her friend see her friend again, that'll be something that she'll talk about for the rest of their lives.
Absolutely.
So, just sharing this activity that a lot of people can relate to. I'm just glad I'm a part of it. I'm just so happy and blessed that I'm a part of something that anybody and everybody can at least join in on.
That's so true. As we, I'm gonna go back over the upcoming events. I'm gonna see if it's possible the video I just sent. Is it possible to show that?
The jump rope?
Yeah, no, I sent it through
Just now?
instant messenger. Yeah, is it possible if we can show that? And we thank you for working with us. It's I sent it through Messenger, Facebook Messenger.
Okay.
Okay. So, all right. As we get that straight, we thank you for joining us today with It Needs to Be Heard with Mr. Robert Eugene Young.
And my name is Miss Onika Tyrrell. Now that you heard it.
What will you do? All right, we are here today with the DC Retro Jumpers, and they can be reached at doubledutch4fun@gmail.com. The up-and-coming events are at Project Create, March the 21st at 5 to 6:30 p.m. The Mount Pleasant Library, June 27th at 4:30 p.m. West End Library, August 30th at 4 p.m. Parklands Turner Library, July the 9th at 1 p.m. Ralph T. Daniel Shaw Library, July the 15th at 5 p.m. The Capitol View Library, July the 20th at 3 p.m. Woodbridge Library, July 21st at 3 p.m. and the Southwest Library, June 24th at 1 p.m. The picture that Mr. Tyrrell was referring to on the article, actually in the background of the picture that was on the article that you sent me, right here in the very back was actually one of our guests from last year, Project MC. And
the young guy.
The young guy, yeah. Him and his mom.
Yeah,
I have all the information.
Yeah, I know her mom too. I know his mom. I knew
and
his
the
mom
dad
first.
Too. Really?
I knew his mom first because she saw me at the Anacostia Community Museum, And she was like, "Oh my gosh, I gotta get you with me."
Mm-hmm.
And she jumped, as a matter of fact, that day. And
even with those colorful shoes
with,
on.
oh, she rocked it. I'm telling you, she an old school jumper, so she was able to jump. And we've been trying to get together, as a matter of fact. But then I saw something as a matter of fact, the Beat the Street events.
Yes.
He was at one of the Beat the Street events, and I was like, "What? You do this?" And I just was listening to him. And he was so deep. He was so deep. So yeah.
Did you get to hear his music as well?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He was so deep. That's
what it was? Shmoney was one of them.
Shmoney, yes, definitely was one of them.
Yeah, Shmoney. I mean, he's phenomenal, and I met him at Bowie. He's a student at Bowie State University.
Oh, is he?
And that's how I met him at an empowerment. I was a motivational speaker at Bowie State University, and that's how I met him.
Wow.
Yes, him and his dad, and with the clothing line that they have, and their niche is they don't replicate any one of their clothing artifacts. It might be similar, but it's none of them are alike.
His mom is very
Is she?
unusual dresser. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yes, we had them on there. We're still trying to get that video up that we're.
Let's go. 1, 2, hit it. Let's go. 1.
Awesome.
So, with the DC retro jumpers, how do you see? Where do you see it going in the future for the community and for young people? Like, how far do you see it going, and what would you like to see it do for the young people in our community?
Where I want to see it go is to as many of the schools as a PE physical education course. I mean, not a course, but a what am I trying to say?
Part of the curriculum for
yeah,
PE physical education?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I even want to spin off to teach people how to turn, because that takes a special person how to turn, because you just can't turn it because you want to turn it. You got to adjust to each jumper. So I would like to get like a big class where I'm recruiting turners. It's just so much you can do with double dutch till it'll blow my head out of the wall. So I tend to talk to other people and get some ideas that I find that's unique. So we won't keep creating the same thing, because after a while that gets old. So I want to work with as many people doing different things with it. I've worked with the STEM program with Patriots Technology Training. It's an organization that teaches kids coding.
Okay, yes.
And so he has a STEM program, and he works with the Girl Scouts. So I'm trying to get in with the Girl Scouts. I'm trying to get in with this gentleman because he does fabulous work with teaching kids coding.
Awesome. And that's in the D.C. area?
That's more or less in the Maryland area. I know he teaches out at Bowie State University.
Awesome.
Yeah.
There's a video showing right now of the young man that didn't have any arms.
Oh, wow.
And he had one leg, or he had one prosthetic leg?
We were in St. Petersburg at an organization that deals with disabilities, mentally and physical challenges. And we must have worked with about maybe 10 or 15 people. So they brought the gentleman in, and I immediately noticed that he didn't have any arms. But later they told me that he didn't have legs either, and that one prosthetic leg that he came in on, he jumped.
What?
And he jumped as long as anybody with 2 legs in that place that day.
Wow.
And I mean,
It's
every
6
time I
o'clock.
think about it, I kind of get choked up because that's so inspiring. And he wanted to do it over and over and over again. And just to see and to know that I had something to do with him even participating in that gives me so much joy to just to continue to do what I'm doing.
This is fantastic. With the video that we were showing was the shorter version of him jumping, but I'm really elated by it because as Ms. Tyrrell talked about the future of DC retro jumpers, and what's fantastic about retro jumpers or double dutch is not just the future, but also the past, all at the same time. How it's nostalgic, how it brings back some old feelings and memories as a child. My memories are I could never do it, but I always wanted to. I just thought it was cool. I said, how do girls able to do that and I can't do it? But you just have to do it yourself. But now with that video being shown, and with my current profession working with individuals with disabilities, one of my desires is to have advocacy for individuals with various types of different disabilities, and that this can possibly be something that can be part of their organization as well. So I wanted to make sure that they saw that video. And what's fantastic about this to our office and let them take a look at it. So I'm hoping that that open up doors as well.
One of the organizations, I might be saying it wrong, HSCHS. Anyway, it's an organization for disabilities here in DC, and they too, I was trying to collaborate with them because working with kids with disabilities, it's just like working with kids with abilities. They just have to do it at their level, and they do just as well. Boys do too.
Yes. Awesome, awesome. So, Robin, how can you be reached?
I can be reached at the email of Double Dutch for Fun. 4 is the number 4, fun@gmail.com.
Awesome.
We also have a website, which is www.DC Retro Jumpers as well.
Okay. Just one quick question to the tech. Were we able to show the Marion Berry picture?
Yeah, I've been.
We showed it, and the Nesbits as well. Awesome, great. Haven't done that. We really thank you for joining us today.
I would like to thank you for having us here. I mean, I just want to be able to get this word out that Double Dutch is back.
Yes, absolutely. And you were talking to someone in the background. Who was that in the audience that you were talking to?
One of our DC Retro Jumpers, Monica. How are you?
She didn't want to come glance around. Awesome. And then also, I'd like to get a word from Anaya. Hi, Anaya. Okay, would you like to say anything? Did you have fun? Awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for coming in with us today with the DC Retro Jumpers on A Leap of Faith on March the 17th, 2019, with It Needs to Be Heard, with myself, Mr. Robert Eugene Young.
And Miss Onika Tyrrell. Now that you heard it.
What will you do? Thank you.
Welcome. We are excited to have you live in the den, as they say.
Hey.
With my partner, Dirk, DJ, BJ, and DJ Live. E-Life Media Group. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'm your boy, BJ Page, and this is DJ Dirk Smith. We are, man, look, we on fire today, as we are every week. But preferably, I would like to just say, first off, thank you. Because these last couple of weeks has been valuable for me and valuable to a few people close to me, to the point where they're now engaged asking me, like, what y'all doing next week?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you got to tune in next week.
No, it's real, man. You know, I appreciate our relationship. You and I have been friends for quite some time, and we have a lot of conversation. And I think for us to have that opportunity to be able to bring some of those conversations to the platform where people can engage and talk about, you know, real life stuff. You know, our motto is always real time transparency, and that's the type of vibe and chemistry that we have. So in light of that, we can bring that to the forefront and just keep it all the way real, man, because life is real. None of us are exempt from challenges and adversities in life, but in most cases, most people don't talk about it. They don't have an outlet.
So how real is that? So Dirk just said that, right? I'm gonna tell you how real it is. So just last Friday, we were in a crazy meeting. And this meeting would never have happened if it weren't for what the subject is this week. So this week we're having defining your path and staying consistent in pursuit of your purpose. The key word is consistency. You know, a lot of people find their path, they jump out there and do it, and they get discouraged. And that consistent is where they don't stay. So I just want to say, tell me a little bit about what your definition of finding your path is.
You know, everybody has a story, right? We were all born destined to be great, to do extraordinary things, not to be average. I believe we all were born with some star power in us.
Right.
But in the midst of life, man, whether that's going through some challenges at home, getting married, having kids, buying a home, transitioning jobs, you know, that star power starts to diminish, you know, over time. And if you're not surrounding yourself with people who truly believe that star power is not going nowhere, it allows folks to really kind of, you know, evolve to a place where they can really live a life full of purpose and really, you know, walk in their purpose. Because there's a lot of people, BJ, that get up and say, look, I know it got to be a better way. I know it's more to life than this. I feel like I'm just going through the routine and the monotony of life, but I know I was born for bigger and better. But why do so many people struggle with a life of mediocrity and being average? And we need to talk about that and break that down and chop it up so people can maximize their potential.
I agree. And to add to that, so when you're finding your path, sometimes you're going throughout the motions and you're in search of something that's not quite your path. You may be searching for something that you like. You know, like, I like to do this, I like to do that. And you search and you're running, and that's really not your path. So I think the conversation we're going to have today is going to help a lot of you listeners, because if you can get what Dirk and I have in a shorter time, which is the purpose of Life, Family, Hustle, every Sunday right here on E-Life Media Group, if you can get that at a shorter time, your life will be more valuable.
Absolutely.
So I want to say, so for me, finding my path, I found it in my 30s.
Really?
I'm still in my 30s.
You still in your now? You 37?
37. I'll be 38 this year.
You on a tail end of the millennials, right?
Yeah. I'm the very last year of the millennials.
Yeah, millennials are what, 22 to 37. You right on the cusp.
Right there, 37. I'm excited about that too.
Yeah, you should be.
Shout out to all my millennials.
You know, folks here millennials, they think you're 22 to 30, but you the seniority factor.
That's right. That's right.
Oh,
that's right. But so once I found what my path was, everything kind of just catapulted, you know, and me finding it wasn't really me searching either. You know, I was working, you know, I had always had a great job. I was always doing something, working with people, you know, because that's my niche. That's what I like to do.
We the people.
We the people. That's what I like to do, you know, work with people. And then one day, you know, something happened in my life where I had to find a solution. You know, so I just want to say, sometimes finding a solution or finding something that may hurt you,
that pain,
something that may hurt you, is something that will be defining in finding your purpose.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about pain, right? I mean, to make it practical, somebody can be in a bad relationship, and being in a bad relationship hinders their ability to move forward because of the emotional strain. And then you get out that relationship and you like, man, you know what, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to start losing some weight. I'm going to go out and start a business. And next thing you know, you find this sense of independence because that pain brought you through. You know, there are a lot of my entrepreneur friends out there. I know a lot of people that do things, do career. They have a job and they do something, do career. And then they might get terminated at a job. And it was that termination that put you in a position now where you didn't have no other option. And you had to go hard. And so now that you started to go hard, you realize, man, I should have did this a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? So that pain oftentimes can lead you to your purpose if you walk through it with a solution-based focus like you said.
Yeah, solution-based. So let me just tell everybody what happened with me. So my son and his mom was always kind of like moving around. She's still active duty military.
Okay.
You know, people tuned in a few weeks ago. They heard that we traveled the state chasing them around the country. But it was finally at a point where I got to continue to do right for my current family, my wife and my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So we couldn't chase anymore. We had to make the best of what we had, which is a tough decision, choices a couple weeks ago. A tough decision. So in me trying to chase my, I guess, dreams, the things I like, Dirk, that's when my real definition of my career started then. So my son moved to San Antonio, Texas with his mom. I said, I wish it was a program, and my son has a small case of autism. I said, I wish it was a program in San Antonio, Texas, that I can call and just talk to and see how my son doing.
Right.
And I sat there and I'm talking to my wife, and the wheels start turning. It was like ding, 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 ding. I can do that right here for a lot of the youth right here in the D.C., Maryland, Virginia area.
So it was that pain of being not in the same location as your son that drove you to your purpose, which Boys to Bow Ties is now for kids that age.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly. So sometimes your like, which is me liking people. You know, I've done everything in relationship marketing to customer service to selling cars. Everything was always helping people. Property management, you know, that's all I know. Hospitality in the hotel industry, that's every job I've had. That's what I like to do. Yeah. But that really wasn't what my purpose is. Right now, today, I'm doing none of those things that I like to do. Yeah. But I'm defining my path. Yeah. From the pain.
And you think about how many people have degrees and school loans, and they're actually in vocational careers totally contrary to their degree field. You think about how many people just go to work for a paycheck. And then after 3 to 5 years, something happened, right? You get discontent, you get dissatisfied, you get frustrated, you get bored with the monotony. Then you end up getting another job a little bit closer to home, paying you extra $5,000. And after 3 to 5 years, you go through that transition and you do it again. And next thing you know, you 25, you 30, you 35, you 40, and you just living life, but nothing's really happening. And because that purpose factor is not there. And so when you talk about life, family, and hustle, and then you bring someone into a relationship that doesn't have purpose, they trying to find themselves, and next thing you know, you're still trying to love on somebody else, and now it creates this level of insecurity and all these other things come into play in light of that. You know, speaking of your situation, my childhood really kind of helped me get to a place where I realized that I gotta go hard because I didn't like those emotions of not having much growing up. You know, my mom had me as a teenager. I moved 12 times before I was 18, lived with family and did those things. And mom was my biggest fan, my biggest cheerleader. Always, you can do it, you can be better. Right. Don't stop till you get to the top, keep it moving. House full of compliments, but we didn't have a lot of money. And so when I was 16 years old, I went and got a job and I thought was at a barbershop. I walked in there the first day, dude said, "No, you a shampoo boy." And I'm like, well, at least I can meet a lot of ladies, right? I can get a lot of phone numbers, I can be there and do my thing, right? So it was all good. So I started shampooing hair. Dude was paying me some money every week and I was coming back giving it to my mom. And then as I realized I got old, I said, one day I got to make sure I take care of my mom.
That's right.
You know, I hustle so hard because I'm scared to be broke, right?
That pain.
Them pains of not having them Jordans when all my buddies had them Jordans. Like, I don't want to go back to those emotions of not being able to go get. And so now that I have kids, 2 boys, you know, it scares me to death to not have no money. And so I don't have no excuse. I don't need text message. I don't need motivation. I don't need to watch video. Like, I get up in every day and go get it in because them emotions I got to run from. And I think if some people just really sit down and take the time to explore their past, that'll kind of help factor in some of those things necessary to determine your purpose.
You know, something that just popped in my head, Dirk, and I know you're the perfect person for this. So when I talk to some of the youth and young adults, that's why I started the conversation. They say, you know, I'm not sure what I want to do. So I say, so number one, what do you like? You know, I got to ask them that. They tell me what they like, and then I go straight into the pain. You know, so what hurt you growing up? You know, what bothered you the most where you grew up or how you grew up? And they tell me, and you know, we get past it. But my question to you, Dirk, is to help the listeners is it's easier for me to have that conversation with a youth and young adult. So how would we do that as adults? If somebody's listening now and they say, you know, I agree with what y'all saying. you know, that pain. But I'm 45 years old. You know, I've been working at my job for 10, 15 years.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so it sounds good.
Yeah.
So what do I do now at that point?
You know, a lot of times, just like in the Bible, it talks about having childlike faith, right?
Wow.
And sometimes we got to have childlike task in front of us, such as sometimes you just got to get that sheet of paper, man, draw the line in the middle, and put likes and dislikes on the right and left hand side of the paper. What am I good at? What do I enjoy the most? And how do we kind of define what do I enjoy the most? What's that thing that once you get started, it's so hard for you to get distracted from? You might be a great cook, right? You doing your thing, man. You ain't really have to go to culinary school. You just naturally got a gift of being able to put that thing together. You might be good at photography. Every time you travel and you go out, you the one taking the pictures. You the one reconciling the pictures. You might need to go to photography school because one day you might can open up your own photography shop or studio.
That's amazing.
You know, you might be a good artist. I mean, you the type of person you see one thing and you might can do that, or somebody that can mock everybody, like my son. I mean, my son is probably the major 10-year-old impersonator. And as I watch him impersonate athletes and do all things, like I see a talent there. And I think as an adult, sometimes we got to sit down and say, hey, what am I good at? What do I enjoy most? And really drill down. It's not enough to say I just like to travel. Would traveling be so intriguing to you if people paid you to go travel and to come back with feedback on these destinations? Could you make traveling a career? Like drill it all the way down.
From beginning to
And
end.
I think we don't take that time, you know, for ourselves to be able to pause, evaluate, and put it together. And sometimes it might take for a conversation with somebody else, third party.
So here's my challenge. A lot of this stuff y'all already heard. A lot of this stuff y'all know. And you hearing it from people who've done it with Dirk and I. But my real challenge is are you doing it? Like, are you really doing what Dirk just, are you putting it on a piece of paper with that line in between? We know that. We hear it. But you're not doing it. So let's use this Life Family Hustle to do that. So it's fair to say that you say out of your pain comes your passion.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Fair to say, right?
Absolutely.
So
and so, you know, sometimes I think I made mention of it earlier. How do I know God's will for my life? Because sometimes it's not really clear. Like you're trying to figure it out. Sometimes you just got to make decisions, and through those decisions comes clarity. Right? I may have never done real estate before. Right? But let me just go get my real estate license. And through your pain of taking some sort of compromise, you go to real estate school and you realize through that moment whether or not it was for me or not. So sometimes you just got to make a decision, and it'll get clear through that. But let me ask you, BJ, when we talk about pain, purpose, and identifying that passion, you know, you're dealing with a lot of young people. And so from that teenage year to becoming a millennial, like what's so important for them to define it so they don't get lost?
I would start like thinking about me growing up. I can remember always being like the center of attention almost, right? And then I can look at my friends. I was just with one of my closest friends yesterday. His name Dirk. His name DJ too. Dirk Jones. I was with him yesterday, and we were just talking about life. And I always say that you're the same person you were in 8th grade. You know. Obviously, you grew in stature. Your mind grew. Your pockets grew, I hope. And you know, but you are the person you are. Your soul in 8th grade is the person you are. And I say all that to say is, I would tell that young person or even that adult, think about who you were in 8th grade. You know, what can you do to talk to that 8th grader? Sometimes you got to have a self-evaluation with yourself, because nobody knows you better than you. You know, what were you good at? What did you like? What hurt you? And let's figure out your path. If you don't do that, if you don't take the time to do that, you're literally going to fail. You know, one thing that acronym that we use with Boys to Bow Ties is STOP. You know, everybody spells STOP, S-T-O-P. A first grader spell it. It stands for seek, time, or pay. You know, you have to seek the time today to make your tomorrow that much better. So if you don't seek the time at any age, whether it's 10, 18, 28, 48, 50, whatever it is, if you don't seek the time to write it down, to talk to somebody, to listen to Life Family Hustle, and to apply what you're learning, you're going to fail.
I mean, that's important, man. You know, I think about where I am professionally. I'm in network marketing, right? I have a pretty big organization of people. And in light of that, my exposure to individuals is greater. And I see the fact that there's a difference between somebody who grew up in an entrepreneur household versus somebody that maybe didn't.
Explain that.
Those experiences are different, right?
Explain that.
Like my kids see me on the phone all the time. See me doing webinars, see me doing conference calls. I'm telling them, be quiet, I'm on the phone. I got to run out, I got to go to a meeting. And so they're hearing me on the telephone, answering questions and motivating and doing those things. So that means growing up, they expose you to entrepreneurship and that life.
It's greater.
Exactly. So they won't be naive when it comes time for them to go out and make, you know, their own careers for themselves. Versus somebody else like myself, I didn't have that. I didn't have a father in my life until I was 10. All I saw was my mom working 2 or 3 jobs. And so she hustled hard, which incorporated a lot of who I am now, but it wasn't that entrepreneurship drive. And I had to figure it out. And it wasn't until I got to college and I bumped into some guys and we met and we realized, look, we bigger than just getting a 3.0 or 4.0, and in my case, 2.0. Right? I stayed in college 6 years because I ain't want to leave.
6 years senior.
It was the best social experience of my life.
Yeah.
You feel me? Why I gotta leave? I gotta leave now. It's all good. All right, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
But in light of that, you know, for me, if it wasn't for those guys coming into my life, and some of them I'm in business with right now, it forced me to go so hard on an entrepreneur and take some chances. But I was at 18, 19 years old. Most people never take a shot on themselves, so they never really realize their potential because we get crippled by fear, man.
Yeah.
And if you surround yourself with a group of people that's fearful, don't have confidence, don't take no shots, you're going to be in the midst of that and you're not going to really advance beyond your circle.
So that's amazing. So Dirk said, you know, some of the things growing up is the reason why he is. As you say it, I think about myself, right? I think that's the reason why I am the way I am. With not just with people, even with business. Because at school, you know, I always had and I'm talking about high school, I always had a 3.5 and up, like from kindergarten to senior year, even through my bad expulsions and all that from school.
So you was the dude I was sitting next to off the
But no, you better not be. I'm going to tell you why. Because the reason, sad but true, and some adults might get upset when I'm going to say, sad but true, the reason why I was getting those good grades wasn't my brain, wasn't because I was the smartest guy in the room. I built relationships with the teachers.
Yeah, absolutely. Relationship marketing.
Relationship marketing.
Yeah.
So listening to Dirk say that is exactly right. But here's the hard part. So how do we, or should we, first is a two-part question. Should we change as an adult, and how do we change as an adult if it didn't work growing up?
So let's just say you have a giftedness for photography.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's your thing. Everybody know you for that.
Mm-hmm.
If that was my talent or my giftedness, I would seek out the best photographer in the area and reach out to him.
Facts.
And ask him what is he doing that got him to that level. You know, I remember when I graduated from college, it was a dude that I used to see on the grocery store carts, on the bus stops, and he was in real estate. Mm-hmm. And I called him, and I'm like, look, man, I'm young, I'm hungry.
How'd you get the number?
It was on the bus stop on the grocery store cart.
Yeah.
I saw him, and I'm like, let me call this dude because he might lead me to 6 figures.
Yeah.
And so I called him, and I'm like, listen, man, I'm young, I'm hungry, I got some go-getter attitude, I got some hustle in me. Can you take me up under your wing? Mm-hmm. And most people that's getting money or doing anything like they're flattered that somebody approaches them like that.
Especially that didn't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I called dude, he asked me to come to his office tomorrow. I went to his office, he said, look, this is real estate space. Boom. I'm like, what I need to do to get my license? I went and got my license. Next thing I know, he took me up under his wing, man. I made $150 my first year, run 1 rookie of the year in the county, became president of the Real Estate Association pretty young. But it's because I stepped myself out there. I mean, because you could be a talent, but your talent only takes you as far as the relationship around you. There's always somebody bigger, badder, better, and stronger. Like, you got to get into their space.
Man, Will Smith, I listen to Will Smith quite often for motivation. There's a few people I listen to, he's one of them. And one of the things that he spoke on, guys, is fear. You know, he said some of the most beautiful things are on the other side of fear. So the example was, and I want to talk about it shortly. Long story short, he was talking about when he had to hang glide with his buddies. You know, and everybody was macho about it. They got up in the plane, and he was really scared and nervous, and they pushed him off the plane, and he was scared to death. He said, you know, like he basically almost died through the process. He said, but once he got over the fear, he looked at out in the space he was in. It was some of the most beautiful things he's ever seen. So that cliche is a good example. You know, if you can get past that initial fear, you have some of the most beautiful things in front of you for the rest of your life.
You know, absolutely, man. Because there's a lot of people that say I'm shy, I'm not a people person.
Me too.
Man, that's baloney, man. God has birthed us all to be social creatures, to have a yearning for relationships, to be full of love, to be able to engage, have conversation and chemistry and connectiveness. Somewhere between being a child and being an adult, like that got lost. Whether it was because your parents used to tell you don't talk to strangers, whether that was because your parents used to always tell you no and it crippled your confidence. So sometimes you gotta go back and find where did that get lost, and then reevaluate how can I get the way I'm trying to go. Because I'm big just on reaching up always. You know, sometimes you could be in a situation out there where you have a lot of people that respect you and look up to you, and you get so caught up in that, and you don't aspire to get to the next level because you might think you the deal. But you always got to look up. You making 50, somebody making 100. You making 100, somebody make 250. You make 250, somebody make 500. You got to go find out what is the next level, and sometimes that means taking you out your circle.
I think that's hard for a lot of people, Dirk.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that's hard. I think it comes natural for a lot of people like you and I. It comes natural. But I think that's why this is important. Because a lot of people who have those skills don't offer what we're offering. So an example of what we're offering is even like the communication piece. You know, you and I want to do our best to show other people, you know, how you can communicate. Your network literally is your network. To build your network, you'll build your net worth. And communicating is a tool sometimes. You know, even myself and you too, we've been through some serious, workshops. Even though we have the natural gift, those workshops help you grow.
Absolutely. So personal growth and self-development is everything. And speaking of that, we got a phenomenal event called Communication Mastery coming up in May. In Maryland, so be on the lookout. Save the date. I think it's May the 4th, somewhere around that ballpark. But just be on the lookout for that. But I think in order to get to the next level in life and family and within your hustle, you got to be able to effectively communicate. And sometimes that means stretching yourself out for it. And I think too, another great a play for you. Sometimes it's hard to evaluate yourself, right? The real you is how you see yourself. But the ideal you might be how other people perceive you. Sometimes you gotta ask other people around you.
Don't I say I do that all the time?
All the time. Like, what you think about me? What you think I'm good at?
I do it all the time.
You know, if you had to stamp me for something, how would you stamp me? You'd be surprised. Your friends be like, man, you know what? You great at physical training. Like, you might want to think about opening up your own gym. Or you a movie buff. You always want to go to the movies. Maybe you can be a movie critic where people can pay you to do that. So all those little things, sometimes you just got to dig it deep, man.
Defining your path.
And know who you are. Because you can't love other people.
Defining your...
If you don't know who you are.
If you don't get nothing else from this conversation today, that piece Dirk just said is strong. That's a strong piece. Ask other people. Ask other people because they will tell you the real you.
And I think part of the reason why people don't, look, most successful people, all successful people have coaches. Serena Williams, Beyonce, LeBron James, Floyd Mayweather, they all have coaches. But we really don't like accountability. And so therefore our coaches are non-existent. We don't have them. We don't have depth in our conversation. So we kind of go through life with the same people that's just like us around us, but nobody helping us get to the next level. And that's why we kind of stay stagnant and being average.
You got to understand the importance of it too. So can I add on that?
Absolutely.
So when you talk about, defining your path, growth, and coaching and all those things like that, have the tough skin. Be prepared for something bad to come back.
Man,
that preparation is key. Because a lot of people will ask the questions or go to the person they know gonna give a good answer. So I'm gonna go to Dirk. I know he gonna tell me, Dirk, how was the show? It was a great show. But they're not gonna go to Tony over here and ask Tony because Tony gonna tell them the truth. Don't go to the Dirks. Go to the Tonys. Go to the people that's gonna give you the real life feedback to help you grow.
That's going to tell you, take that social media post down. Because your words was too hard. That's going to tell you, look, I think you owe such and such an apology because at the restaurant, you said something slick out your mouth. You need to go to her.
That's right.
I'll never forget, man, when I used to be a trainer for this company, this guy who was the head lead guy for the company, every time I used to train, he used to be in the back taking pages of notes. And everybody was clapping, woo, woo, woo. It was love was all good, and I might got off the stage feeling like I killed it. But every time I got back to him, Cuz had like 4 pages of notes, and I'm like, damn, was it that bad? He said this to me, I'll never forget. He said, listen, I already know you good.
Yeah.
If you wasn't good, you wouldn't be up there. But that ain't my job to tell you how good you are, like all them people out there.
Yeah.
That's what they paid for. That's not why I'm here, though.
Yeah.
He used to break me down, Slim, like no other. And I used to have that tough skin because it was kind of like I was always taking punches. But he forced me to really evaluate my humility, right? Mm-hmm. To make sure I stay humble, to always work towards being better, being bigger, being greater, being badder. And he forced me to really go hard. So from that relationship, I always sought out accountability from people that were sharper than me. You feel me? That's important.
What about those who don't have an accountability partner?
They got to seek that out. They got to be in prayer, first of all. I mean, again, there's someone that you may have never even met yet that you might meet tomorrow that might come into your life and change your life. That's why you got to make yourself available to receive that. And if you really want to get to the next level, you need to be in prayer. Lord, look, send me somebody this week that could potentially help me, lead me the way I got to go. And sometimes that might take for you to Google professional chefs or photographers. Mm-hmm. And you might got to send somebody a friend request. They accept that friend request. You might got to jump in their inbox. There is some level of initiation. Posting is just passive. But when you're trying to go get it, you got to like go get it.
Intentional. You got to be intentional.
And that's where that confidence comes from, your activity.
Do you suggest, and this is just me spinning, y'all know I'm like double-edged sword. Do you suggest that I ask if I'm working, if I ask my supervisor to be my accountability partner, or
if the relationship is there? Because obviously, if your supervisor position you to achieve so much, it might jeopardize his situation. And so it might be another supervisor at another site where there's no threat, things like that. But if y'all got a vibe going and the chemistry there, by all means, because that's going to allow you to elevate. If you elevating, he elevating. But it got to be somebody, especially if you try and get to the next position in that company, like you got to have some type of boldness and courageousness to go out to get to where you're trying to go, because your talent is not enough.
Facts.
Relationships are everything, man.
Facts.
So we got to make sure we be deliberate in that always. I like to say relationship marketing gets you to the top. You know, that's why, you know, a lot of people who move in isolation, they don't really move. You'll have a lot of sharp people that do everything. They generate the leads, they do the business, they follow up, they doing everything, and now their business is stagnant because you got to compensate for your limitations through other people. And that's why it's important. Relationships like this and conversations like this are important. But let me ask you, BJ, when we talk about pain, purpose, and passion, when you identify passion in other people, do you share that information with them?
Oh, facts. And that's why we're here. That's what Life, Family, and Hustle is all about. And the reason why I do it so much and so often, guys, is because I used to be the person that would reach out and ask for help and beg people for, you know, to be my accountability partner, to be my possible mentor, and I always got shot down. And sometimes I got shot down because someone or a person would say, "You don't need me." And I would say, "I ask you because I need you."
Yeah.
So I would say, yeah, if anybody got anything that I know Dirk's the same way, that we can have to help you, we are the perfect people to ask. Life, Family, Hustle, that's why we are here.
Yeah, and we're not really in a society, man, where we compliment people and validate other people and shoot words of edification to other people oftentimes, because a lot of us didn't experience that, you know, growing up. I mean, I did, but a lot of people really are not in that environment. Be like, man, you know what? You're pretty sharp at that. I see some talent in you. I mean, obviously, teacher's job is to do that. But if you got a child or you got a peer or somebody in your space that really has a giftedness for something and you see it, like, you got to tell them that, because they might not be functioning in their passion.
Man, we got a partner of ours. One of the words he always used, and since I met him, you know, I use it now, and it's help. You know, he often said, you know, with the help, where's the help? You know, and since he kind of drove that in my head in a few conversations, I catch myself saying, I normally when I meet somebody, I say, where can I add value or where can I add influence? But now I say, where can I be of help? Yeah. Where can I be of service?
Yes.
And I think that's a piece where everybody don't have. A lot of listeners may be searching for it. And we can start here, you know. So if I can say, before we would even go to a break or anything, I want to at least open up the lines if we can. after the break.
That's cool.
It was just for the help.
Yeah.
And then obviously we can continue on with the show. But I want to at least offer that since we're speaking on it.
Absolutely.
We can't speak on it and not
Yeah,
offer.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. You gonna give them a number?
Yeah, we can get a number now, 240-455-5934. That's 240-455-5934. So we're going to go to break in a few seconds. And when we come back, please, if you have any questions, input, or anything you want to say, that's your chance to call in. And I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
Defining your path.
We just getting started. You know, we can have this conversation all day
Yeah,
long.
no question. Because I didn't even realize how deep we just got in the short spin.
It's nothing like being engaged in relationships with people
Mhm.
who are aspiring to be great, man.
Yeah.
That is so attractive.
Yeah.
That you can walk in so much confidence that you're not going to stop till you get to the top.
Yeah.
But we're going to pause.
Yeah.
We're going to stop, take a break. Catch us back in a few minutes, guys.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. Welcome back from the break.
Hey, Life Family Hustle.
Life Family Hustle.
Each and every Sunday.
That's right.
6 p.m.,
Where we at?
6:15.
Where we at? E-Life Media Group.
Media Group.
That's right.
Yeah, make sure you tell a friend, so your friends can become our friends.
So we can be friends.
Exactly. And if all of our friends are great, we all good.
That's right.
Hey, if we all winning, ain't nobody losing.
We all won.
You feel me? That's real.
You remember that? We all won?
That's it. I remember that.
We all won. So we are back from break. So I'm not sure if we had anybody call in. If we didn't, it's okay. Because I'm sure me and Dirk can really express a lot of information. So if you choose to call in, you still have time. The number is 240-455-5934. That's 240-455-5934. So we were talking about, defining your path. So you found your path. You're great at it. You're doing good. Bumps in the roads come.
Yeah.
You stop. You
Yeah.
dropped the ball.
Yeah.
You got frustrated.
Yeah.
You're like, look, I get it. I want to do that. I've had the opportunity. I built the network. I did everything that Dirk and BJ said do. But this ain't working.
Yeah.
So one of the keys to defining your path is not just finding it, but staying consistent.
Yeah.
So Dirk, tell me a little bit about number one, why staying consistent is important, and something that you do to keep that consistency going.
That's a great question, man. Perseverance is the beginning of being successful, man. Business, life, it's a boxing match, right?
Mm-hmm.
Boxing match, you're going to get punched in the face.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to take some body shots. You might even go down. If you go down, you got 10 seconds. You got to identify what's your why for getting started.
Mm-hmm.
If you know why I got started, nothing's going to stop me on my way up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's real. And I think that's why accountability is so important, BJ, because it does take 21 days for something to become habitual, right?
Mm-hmm.
And turn into a habit. But the reason that I surround myself with accountability is because I have so many limitations, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm very clear on the things that I'm not good at.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm deliberate to combat that is to surround myself with people who do things better than I do. I'm not the most organized guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the most punctual guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the guy that's just big on administration. So I got to surround myself with people that can hold me accountable, man.
That's right.
Because oftentimes you'll find yourself doing 100 different things, and 98 of them things ain't really you for real. Next thing you know, now you wasting time trying to figure stuff out where there's no interest, there's no passion, there's no desire, and you got to work through that.
Mm-hmm.
But I know you're a real disciplined guy because obviously going to the military prepared you to be able to wake up early, all those things, to be able to be structured, to do things the right way. How did that kind of help you coming from that form of discipline?
So I'm going to tell you what's crazy. As you said, the 21 days, it brought me back to so many thoughts. So I'm going to say something directly to the listeners real quick. So if anybody's listening, right, I'm going to be transparent about myself. So it's some things that I knew I had to stop. I had to stop. I used to smoke cigarettes. I used to drink liquor. I used to just be in the streets from Thursday to Sunday. I knew that 21-day thing that Dirk was speaking on. So I purposely was intentional, making sure that I stopped smoking for 21 days. Mm-hmm. And now that 21 days is now 3-4 years. Mm-hmm. I stopped drinking for 21 days. Mm-hmm. And now that no drinking is 2 years. Mm-hmm. So those are the things you can just stop with 21 days. Mm-hmm. But the kicker is, if it's something that you want to do in your path, you define in your path, you can do the same in reverse. Mm-hmm. I also made, in that same time frame, I made sure that I got down every night and set an hour aside for business for 21 days. Mm-hmm. And guess what? That's almost 10 years now. Mm-hmm. Every day I got an hour every day just for myself for business. Mm-hmm. So that habitual thing, it kind of brought chills to me. Yeah. It's serious.
Yeah.
So I thank you for saying that, and I hope somebody takes away and walks away with that.
I always try to give a solid book recommendation, and I think one on the relationship side, it's a book called Incompatibility is Grounds for a Great Relationship. Mm-hmm. Don't forget, I don't know the author's name, but I do realize most people typically surround themselves with people that's just like them, act like them, talk like them, think like them. Well, they feel some sense of compatibility or chemistry, which is good. But oftentimes other folks that offer you a different perspective who you might feel are incompatible are a good fit. They're filling them holes. Whether that means more in a relationship, whether that means more in business, it still goes hand in hand. And so, BJ, I wanted to ask you, as it relates to really carrying out your passion, and going through them bumps of perseverance and feeling like, I'm getting tired. Is this for me? I done spent money, but I ain't seen no return on my money yet. Like, we always talk about never quitting, never giving up. Like, how do you lock in and say, oh, when I'm locked in, I'm locked in?
Man, I might be the wrong person to ask, Dirk. I'm going to tell you why. Because I got a strong mind, brother. I got a strong mind. When I say I'm doing something, it ain't too much that can deviate me from that. Mm-hmm. But the kicker to that is sometimes it's not good, because when I say I'm not doing something, it ain't nothing nobody can tell.
I got you.
So that's why I like to latch on to people who are, in my eyes, successful. Mm-hmm. Like, I got dudes that I grew up with that will forever be my brothers. Mm-hmm. Forever. If y'all listening, y'all forever will be my brothers. But I can't attach my life to y'all right now, because I don't see the successful me in you. Mm-hmm. So that's why I have to, reach out to people who I look at as successful, because they keep me on exactly what you just said. They kind of keep me in line. Mm-hmm. But so me, it's no deviation. You can't give me all. But let me hold on. So Dirk, I'm gonna tell you, I know something about Dirk, y'all. If y'all listen, let me give y'all something. So one thing about Dirk, he's very, very strategic. He's very strategic, and that's a good thing. So with that being said, Dirk, with me knowing that you're strategic, tell me how that really affects you.
I try to sort out my relationships quickly to determine what's the value, right? So if I go to a networking event tonight and I meet 5 people, when I have a conversation with them tomorrow, or I meet somebody on social media to send me a friend request, I need to determine whether or not this relationship is worth being in my life, short term or long term. It might be a short term need. We might just be able to do a transaction together, make some money together. It's quick, fast, and keep it moving. Or this person could bring some value to my life. Let's just say I meet somebody that works at Southwest Airlines. Right, that's a relationship that I want to nourish and develop. Not that it's one-sided, because I'm attempting to add some value, but because I travel a lot, that might be a need for me. So I'm gonna nourish that differently. And then that too, man, I try to seek to be transparent quickly, man, to see if that person gonna give me back what I'm giving them. Because if the love ain't real, at least in friendship or business, like, we kind of like wasting our time. I'm trying to get a feel for where you going, what you doing, what you up to, and if you ain't doing nothing, you ain't going nowhere. Like, what I'm up to is irrelevant if everybody just always pulling. Right, so we got to be deliberate in that. If that makes sense. Tell me
a time where, or tell me a situation where you defining your path, you're going through the motions. You validated some relationships pretty early, as you just said, and now you're in a business or in a line of business that you never really been in.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's your path? Like, for instance, like I even know something that you're doing now that you're very humble about.
Yeah. When
it comes to sports, that's something that was fairly new as far as business, but it's something you like.
Yeah.
Is that a defining path moment? Like,
yeah.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people may not know, but in 2017, I bought a basketball team, right? I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Global Mixed Gender Basketball League. It's a co-ed league. Male WNBA, NBA players play together on the same team. Master P, the president of the league. Tiny in Atlanta owns a team. Trick Daddy and Trina own a team. Ice-T owns the New York team. And my partner and I, Dewan, own the Washington, D.C. team. And so being a sports enthusiast as a child, man, I always one day said, I want to be able to own a professional franchise or a team, whether that was a minority or a majority, I don't know. And so when this opportunity came across, our plate 2 years ago or so, I said, this is a shot I got to take on myself. It was new for me, but I knew I loved sports. I could define my passion. I was clear. And so much so, I just made a decision. And through that decision now, a lot of great things are going on. We're going to be in Shreveport, Louisiana, April the 27th. Master P and them in Shreveport, Louisiana. I know you spent some time in Shreveport. So I'm just excited working with some great people around me and just meeting a lot of the athletes and hearing their story and things like that is really rubbing off and impacting my life, and now I can pursue my passion outside of some of the other things that I do. But I had to take that shot.
I was going to say that. That's a pure example to all my listeners out there. Hey, if you feel like you want to do something, you put the plan together. If you step out there and do it, get in that path, get in that lane. Some people say, you gotta get in the car and put the foot on the gas. You do have to put the foot on the gas, but you got to be in the right lane. Yeah. So find your lane, get your path, and don't deviate, because things will come to you and open up just like it did with Dirk.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I mean, look, you know slouch. You already know your game. And we talked about before, man, you know, you running for office, although you didn't win, you did win. And what you represented going through that motion of pursuing that purpose that now has evolved to some other things was huge, champ. Like, I mean, my respect level for you even going through that with you and being through that process with you. Although I didn't run for office, I felt like I was running for office.
You was the first person I ran to.
Exactly, y'all. Already know. And so when you talk about what that did for your life and your confidence in that experience, because that was new for you too.
Yeah, totally.
You know, what's some of the lessons within that for you as you walk through that defining line of pursuit of your passion?
Man, the lessons were probably way bigger than where I am right now. Like, and I say that in a humble way. So some of the lessons that I learned, I didn't realize it until after the race was done. Like, I put 150% in during the race. You know, I was locked all the way in. Some people was like, bro, you was in different form, like rare form. But some of the lessons are now being, you know, manifested as we speak. So as we build this year, you know, it's funny, at the beginning we said we all won and we were joking. We didn't even know where the conversation was going. Right. That was the campaign slogan. Yeah. We all won. So as we listen and as we go, understand that the lessons sometimes you may not even get to after you jump out there and do it. Don't think that the lesson's going to be in the practice or in the moment. The lesson may be after. And it needs to be after sometimes so you'll know how to address it. Some of the lessons I got now, for instance, like, I got some different relationships, right? I'm in a weird space. I often say in the most humble way that there's not many people that can do what I do in Prince George's County. I still can go to the hood around the way. I still can go to some of the local businesses. I still can go to some of the upper echelons people in the community, and I still can go to the politicals. There's not many people that can do all four successfully. So the lessons that I learned then is always be humble, one, and always be direct in your conversation. Because nobody can say that I lied or I was sneaky or try to take advantage.
That's important, man. And I know we talk about pausing and praying and pressing on all the time, kind of the 3 P's. Pause, pray, and press on. When you think about pausing, praying, and pressing on, you know, what does that actually mean?
Man, that was something that just came upon me some years ago. You know, and I try to offer it to a lot of people that I know. Pause, pray, and press on. Just think about if you're going through something. If you're going through something right now at home and you're listening to the show, as soon as we sign off, just take a quick 5-minute meditation moment for yourself. You know, take a pause. You know, think about, you know, what your issue is or what you want to do or what you're trying to do. Say a quick prayer, regardless of what the prayer may be, to whether it's your, you know, your higher power, God, or even a meditation to yourself. And then press on. And to press on, sometimes people get lost. They think the press on is just saying, all right, I'm done. It's good. You know, I got it or God got it. Nah, that's not what the press on is. The press on is now the action. You got to put action in from what you paused and prayed for. Because as we all know, it's nothing that can happen. Like my math teacher told me, 1 + 1 will always equal 2. And I used to think that she was being funny. But I get it now, because 1 + nothing would never equal 2.
Right.
So you gotta add on.
And you know, when we think about pausing, sometimes we get so caught up in the routine of life, whether that's being a parent, being a spouse, or being an entrepreneur, or just, you know, flat out working, that we really don't have that war room closet, man, that we go in and we just sit down and we just meditate and take some time for ourselves. Sometimes you might need to schedule that massage once a month, put it in your budget for an hour, the extra $100, just to give yourself that decompression time. And then have some accountability partners around you, the way you can be transparent. This is what I'm going through. Because oftentimes we hang out, we be together, we doing those things, but people really don't know the core realities of what's going on in your life. And then you just gotta press on and take action, to your point. I remember, man, when I used to own a Remax office, and I got introduced to the network marketing space some years ago, I had to make a decision. Like, do I continue to do this and I got these agents working for me, or do I just pursue a different career and go in this direction and service people all over the country and not just locally? And I made a decision that I'm going to pursue one career over the other. And the reason I did that, because I said, if this don't work, I can always go back to that. Nobody can ever take away from me how good I was in real estate. But I only got one shot to go hard to see if I'm good in this, like I was in that. Most people just don't take that shot. And then you sitting there trying to be calculated. Look, I'm the type of guy, I'm going to earn while I learn. Some people got to learn it all before they move.
That's right.
And then the reality is they never move. You 40, you 50, and you still like, dang, I should have.
Yeah.
I'm like, cuz it ain't too late.
Yeah.
Cuz it ain't too late. Like, come on, let's go. You're an HVAC technician. You can always go back to that.
Yeah.
But you know tons of people like, let's figure that out. And move.
Man,
That's why you got to surround yourself with movers and shakers, man.
That's right.
Movers and shakers, if they moving and shake, they just going to shake you up.
Yeah.
Like, what you doing?
Yeah.
Come on, you moving too slow.
Yeah.
We trying to get here, you don't make enough.
Yeah.
Just borrow money from me the other day.
Yeah.
Ask me to cash out you some money. Like, let's shake this stuff up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I love it. So, as we prepare to close, right, I just want to say, first off, thank you for shaking me up.
Yeah, always. You know how we do.
But I want to offer something to the listeners. So we spoke on it before the break that we may possibly have this date for next month. This next month we're going to have, it maybe, what was it, May what?
Might be May the 4th.
Might be May the 4th.
Or the 11th,
Might be May the
whatever.
4th. But we're going to make sure, that's 2 months. That's 2 months, thanks. But it's going to be a communication mastery class workshop that we're giving. Take advantage of it. Take advantage. The reason be is because sometimes, no disrespect to them, but sometimes some of these national people come around and they go city to city to get you excited, and you can't really attach yourself to them.
Right.
So this is a perfect opportunity, if you're listening, to get involved with Life, Family, and Hustle every Sunday at 6 on E-Life Media Group and attach yourself to something that's going to be great for you.
Absolutely.
So before we close, can we just at least speak on what that day may look
That's
like?
going to be powerful, man. I know we got a lot of folks that's tuning in. You might be in New York, New Jersey, Delaware, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, whatever the case may be. Or you might be somewhere where you can go to skiplag.com, book a flight, and it's all good. Can't check in the bag, but the flight's not that expensive.
That's right.
And do that and come on down, man, because it's those conversations in real time that could potentially change your life. And until I really invested in myself and my own communication, I was very, very stagnant.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of our relationships break down because we don't converse. We know how to argue, but we don't converse. And so therefore, because of that lack of, it hinders our ability to get to the next level. So, you know, for 6 to 8 hours of a day, we're going to spend that time. We're going to chop it all the way up so you can leave there and become effective and communicator. Because if so, you'll have better relationships, friendships, marriage relationships, better entrepreneur endeavors or better experiences at work, and all those things really help get you to the next level. So make sure you save that day, pencil in, we'll get out some more information so we can log in and get everybody fired up.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So look, excited. We closing out the show.
Yeah.
Make sure you like it, share it, comment, and be prepared for next week right here, Life, Family, Hustle, DJ Live, E-Life Family Group. And life is real. Family matters most, but it's the hustle
That helps you enjoy them the boat.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank y'all for tuning in. Pause, pray, and press on.